Man, it has been a long road to get from point of inception to right here. It's been about 4 years. The original idea was to do a movie about parkour where the dude doing parkour was using parkour to chase somebody instead of running away, because there's all these movies about people using parkour to get away from stuff. From there it became, how about a bounty hunter who does parkour? And then it became, how about a reality show bounty hunter so he has a reason to do crazy moves and flips, and we get into the world of free running a little bit instead of just straight point A to point B parkour. And 15 drafts later, we had the shooting script of Boone the Bounty Hunter. Shot it in late 2014, and about 2 years of post after endless rounds and rounds and rounds of revisions in the editing room. We have now the movie that you're going to see in about an hour that I'm really proud of, and I couldn't be more excited for everybody to see.
Implementing parkour, was that something you trained for just for the film? Was that something that you sort of had as an hobby and then sort of said, how can I implement it to doing something I really want to join and showcase that as well?
Was parkour something that I trained for just for this movie? I'm the prince of parkour. In 2009, I started implementing parkour into everything I was doing with WWE, and it was something that I felt really suited everything that I was into. I mean, I was a big fan of Jackie Chan back in the day, and he was doing parkour before the term parkour was even coined. So it's been something I've been interested in. And I grew up on action movies and pro wrestling, and this right here feels like the perfect combination of both of those things. One of the producers on this project, Brady Romberg, and I spent almost 2 years pre-visiting, working on action design. Brady brought in tons of different super talented fight coordinators, stunt guys, parkour experts, David Elson, Robbie Corbett, Tim Ulick, Kim Do, people that had all kinds of experience, and we just threw out all our ideas on this huge table and picked and chose different things that seemed like they worked. And a lot of what we were doing was blending parkour with pro wrestling with traditional stunt choreography. And I feel like what we ended up with in Boone the Bounty Hunter is a really unique take on action design. And it's something that people who see the movie, like you're about to, really take away and say that they were impressed by the way we put together the action.
You're not gonna Boone me!
The real character arc of Boone is a guy who's searching for his identity. Boone the Bounty Hunter, the reality show star, identifies himself as a reality show star, but Barry Noonan, the character's real name, isn't that guy. And I feel like in pro wrestling, a lot of times where a pro wrestler starts and where that person's character starts in his personal life cross over, and sometimes identity gets lost. And in this movie, Boone the Bounty Hunter has to realize that those two things need to be separate. And you can be a reality show hero on TV, but if you want to be a real hero, that's a whole different thing. And he needs to come to terms with that and realize that saving his friends might be more important than saving his show.
Your friends? They're dead!
Back in the cell!
Absolutely. Before I started wrestling, I was a film major at UC Davis, and I made a whole bunch of action shorts, even wrote, directed, produced, and starred in a feature my senior year at Davis that's horrible, but everyone makes a few stinkers along the way. And for this movie in particular, I feel like what the team that made Boone the Bounty Hunter has created is something that's unique in terms of action design and storytelling. And for me, it's something that I want to continue to do and grow my career in filmmaking as I continue what I'm doing in the world of pro wrestling.
Incoming.
We got him.
Hello, muscles.
I'm looking for a piece of trash named Ryan Davenport.
Oh man, like I said, I grew up on pro wrestling and action movies. I mean, Bloodsport, Die Hard, Predator, Terminator, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Shawn Michaels. Those are my heroes growing up, and I spent my life studying both of those things. And so for me, this has been a part of who I've been my entire life. And it's not something that I woke up one day and thought, I'm going to make a movie. Making movies is really hard. And when I got into this, I knew, based on past experiences, how much work is involved. why there's so many separate jobs: producer, director, cinematographer, writer, editor, and each one of those jobs is important. And the first time I tried to do this in college, I found that out the hard way. I tried to do too much, and everything kind of suffers. And so for this, I felt like I had a good grasp on what I was getting into, and I'm really proud of the way that it turned out. It still took me way longer than I thought, and it was a lot harder than I thought, but it always is. And when you're making a movie, it's about I think making the most out of every situation. And in terms of this movie, we had a lot. The cast was ridiculously talented. Osric Chow, Spencer Grammer, Rampage Jackson, Kevin Sorbo, Lorenzo Lamas, Jane Park Smith, Jonathan Lipnicki, so many talented people. The director, Rob Curbison, John Smith, Brady Romberg, Jenna Lee Reyes, talented producers, talented people editing the film, Mark Spencer and Ashley Brookins. And what we achieved as a group of collaborative filmmakers is something that I think is really special.
Boone says it's an easy score. I could use $1 million.
Man, I learned so many lessons about this. I don't know if I have time to tell you about all of them in this interview, but I'll say one thing that I really learned from this is in filmmaking, every corner you cut that saves time, it ends up taking you twice as long down the road. So when you save time by marrying together all your audio layers and exporting a thing to deliver, you're inevitably going to have to go back, separate your sound design from your music, from your dialogue track to deliver the movie. If you don't shoot something correctly, it's going to take you twice as long and twice as much money with VFX and reshoots to get something if you care about the quality. I mean, if you don't care about how good your film is, you can cut corners all day. But if you're a perfectionist and you really go out of your way to make sure things are the way you want it, like we all did with this movie, you can't cut corners.
Having seen them, they could be hurt or in serious trouble.
You're gonna have to send someone else to get Miguel.
There's no one else.
I would say I called in a ton of favors for this. A lot of my friends from the world of fighting and wrestling: Chavo Guerrero, Josh Burnett, Rampage Jackson, Steve Payne, Lil Cholo, Aaron Aguilera, a lot of wrestlers from Lucha Underground, and everyone was pretty happy to come out. The hard thing about doing something like this is the organization. It's when you call someone to come out and they come to set, it's not just getting someone on set, it's using them appropriately in a timely fashion. And all those things is what makes making movies so hard.
Who the hell are you?
I'm guessing you haven't seen my show. Bad guys always run.
Action comedy is my genre, man. I love Jackie Chan, Big Trouble in Little China, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. I love those movies. Those are the movies that I watch over and over and over again. I've already got 3 scripts that are fully written in they're all action comedies because usually when I'm writing, that's what comes to mind first.
Where's Ryan? Upstairs. Where's the stairs?
It's interesting when you're creating your own project and you're writing like the things that inspire you. And for me, a lot of times what inspires me, certainly as far as wrestling goes and as far as writing goes, is pop in the house, is doing stuff that I think is funny, doing stuff that I think my friends would laugh at, like my sisters and my family would think is funny, that my friends from Lucha Underground would think is funny. And if I get inspired by something, it could be dialogue, just 2 funny characters talking to each other, or it could be an action scene and just like some crazy stuff that goes on with some specific stunt. Usually when I'm thinking of a situation, that's the seed that I start with, and just everything expands from there.
I'm the trash collector. You're the trash.